John, what can you tell us about this decision?
Well, first, that I think this was probably the plan all along, was to target the Minnesota game, which is Sunday, and not necessarily the Dallas game, which they just played. He dislocated his left ankle in week 2, and they felt like it would take this long. And the big thing they wanted to see from Griffin was to give him a couple of good weeks of practice. And he had a pretty good week last week. He's increased his repetitions this week. He was full participant today. That was a big step for him. And he's going to do even more over the next 2 days. And when Gruden spoke to us during his press conference today, really kind of made it seem, he didn't say this, but he made it seem that if there were no setbacks, that this would be the case. So they felt like he was looking good. And fullback Darrell Young even said earlier today that he looked ready 2 weeks ago.
Interesting. Was there any thought, John, on going with the hot hand and keeping Colt McCoy as the starter right now and letting Robert have a couple more weeks to heal?
I don't know. I wouldn't say there was strong thought. I think there was a feeling that while McCoy played very well, it wasn't a perfect game. He did not have a very good first half, missed some opportunities, missed some throws, and while he played a very gutsy game in the second half and did a great job, at that point, I don't think the overall game was exactly one that they would say we can, that would be the game that you necessarily want to build off of, or at least that it would give them reason to continue with him and keep Griffin on the sidelines. Keep in mind, though, that Jay Gruden was brought here to develop Robert Griffin III. That's what ownership wanted, and I think that's so I think that's going to factor in the decision. Not necessarily that they're telling him he has to do this, but he knows what the edict is for him.
So their confidence in RG3 high for this week against the Vikings, Keim?
Yeah, I think so. I think what Gruden has stressed more than anything is not just how he looks physically, but mentally, how he's handling that part of the game, where he's at compared to where he was when he was hurt. How much has he retained? And you really can't see that until you're in full game action, or at least, and I think so that it's running the huddle. Getting guys to the line, being able to operate against a live rush, and getting in and out of the pocket. How are you operating there? So there's a lot of things that they still aren't quite sure of yet, but I think they wanted to make sure that he was at a point where he was when he left off when he got hurt.
All right, John Keim with the latest from Washington, D.C. as the Redskins have decided Robert Griffin III will return this Sunday against the Vikings in Minnesota. Thank you, John.
Thank you.